I was on TalkSport a couple of years ago with Jim White, Simon Jordan and Trevor Sinclair. And I'm going to play you a clip from that in just a moment. But what I really want you to be listening out for in it is just how little we really understand about that psychological aspect of the game. Most players, most pundits and most people in the game just see it as a fluffy thing of having the right mindset, but it is so much more than that. And what I'm going to be doing is talking about Trevor Sinclair's responses, because I think even for someone who played at the very highest levels of the game, it highlights the lack of understanding of exactly what is at stake when it comes to mental performance. And although I'm singling Trevor Sinclair out in this video, Trevor's response is exactly like everybody else within the game. So let's play that clip.
Fascinating. So working on the brain, but basically, does it come down to getting that message of motivation over to the player, which sparks that message in his brain and he goes out and does what you suggest?
It's a lot more than that. So it's about working with that individual, getting them thinking the right way, focusing on the right things, moving the right way, doing the right thing. Because what we actually know from doing these things, rather than just giving us motivation, rather than just confidence, what it's actually doing is it's actually sending blood and electrical signals to the right parts of the brain that we want to have in control. And it's also releasing chemical responses in the body and the brain that are either going to be great for our performances or terrible for our performances. So, for example, if you're sending it to the wrong place and the wrong parts of the brain, your thinking is going to deteriorate, your decision-making is going to deteriorate, even things such as your motor functions, your ability to shoot and pass, that is going to be completely off. Peripheral vision, so seeing the runs of your opposition, seeing the runs of your teammates, that's going to fall apart as well. So, it is everything within a game. You get this right, it works. You get it wrong, and you're in big trouble.
Wow. You're identifying with this, Trevor?
I wrote down a few things. Peripheral vision, I think for me, that was always playing with your head up. Motor functions, that's SAQ, going through all the motor skills that you need for your position. I think training at a high quality diffuses fear and gains confidence, so that fear or that trepidation going into games, it diminishes. I think the brain, I always say to my players, the brain is your most valuable asset on the pitch. Use your brain, you can save yourself a lot of running and things. Obviously, you need to know your role in the team. So that's about detail, what details involved in your role in the team.
So 3 things that Trevor goes into here, and he's absolutely factually right in what he says, is that first of all, he talks about peripheral vision and what to do to utilize it. He then talks about motor function and doing the right things to prime them for his position. He then talks about using your brain to save yourself a lot of running. So what he's really actually talking about here is being intelligent with the ball, which isn't quite relevant to what I was talking about. But I'm not picking on Trevor here. He's correct in what he's saying, but he's just like 99% of people in football who do not realize the exact and amazing involvement of this brain of ours. So it's all very well saying that peripheral vision is all about getting your head up. But here comes the first problem. The way that our brains work is that if we are operating from the wrong part of the brain, the red brain as I call it, it does not matter how much you get your head up, how much you scan, it just does not matter. There are 2 things that will happen here. First of all, your reticular cortex within the brain will not give you the information from what you're seeing that you need. Yes, the information will come into your eyes, but the opportunities that you want and you need will not be processed effectively by this reticular activating system. The brain will not assist you in what you need here. And also, when the red brain is in control, the actual field of view that you have will narrow. That brilliant peripheral vision is now lost. And then he talks about priming motor functions with movement. Now, what we know through neuroscience is that it doesn't matter how much you've warmed up. If this red brain is in control, that brilliant, precise movement that allows great ball control, fast and instinctive actions, accurate shooting, these are also going to now be impossible because of what is going on up here. Then finally, always telling players to use their brain as it will save a lot of running, shows another real classic misconception of this brain of ours. We see this psychological side as things such as mindset and mental resilience. We see that using our brain is simply making good decisions, but your brain is not just in control of your decision making. Your brain controls everything. Your thoughts, your movement, chemical releases in your body and brain, your breathing, your heart rate. It controls everything. It is your control center. It still shocks me that in a multi-billion-pound industry, we will invest heavily in getting players to the heights of their physicality. Yet the one thing that can bring this crashing down is just completely neglected. It is why when I work with my players, there is such a profound impact. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you now, when I first got into the game, I expected what I do to be completely sewn up. No space for me in the game because it was all known and it was all being utilized in every club up and down the country. But it wasn't then, and it certainly isn't now either. As a footballer, your brain is everything. You need to understand it and get it working for you every time you step out onto that pitch.